how managers prefer to learn. So we've been looking at some data here, and you may or may not be surprised to hear that the health check data shows that whether we're working remotely or in an office, managers value the support of their own managers. So the data shows that 80% of virtual managers prefer the support of their managers compared with 75% of office-based managers. So pretty much, it's a big majority of managers like to get input into learning from their manager. So absolutely, managers need the input of their manager, right? So that's really, really important. So if we go to the next one, and I think this is a really interesting point actually, because what has this acceleration to digital done? It has forced organizations to communicate in ways that they just didn't do it before. So suddenly we've gone from certain types of and volume of communication to lots of communication. Now, interestingly, that's always been a challenge around learning, because you can sign up to pretty much any L&D conference and there'll be a slot about marketing learning. And in actual fact, I think that point you just raised is really, really of the moment. It's is what we're doing now around communicating what's going on more effectively and maybe more rapidly, having a real impact on how people feel about the learning resources that they're receiving.
I think, Martin, it must do, because I mean we can see when we split the data between virtual managers and non-virtual managers, one of the things that pushes, I guess, virtual managers to understand better where all the resources are located is because that's the only way they can access them. Whereas there is almost an expectation of people that are working from office-based areas or just in person. The assumption is that they just know where to find it, or they simply just know they're in the organization. They just should know where everything is. And we've done work with other organizations asking individuals exactly where they find learning, and how easy is it for them to find content and resources and things that improves their job or just generally improves their performance. And in a lot of cases, people cannot find what they need, and that's why they usually go beyond the organization and simply either Google or YouTube things. It's fairly straightforward.
In terms of multi-channel, multi-format delivery, the Emerald Works data is showing that virtual managers are basically looking at far more resources that are available to them than their office-based counterparts, and I think that's quite interesting. So they are using external blogs, news feeds, videos, podcasts, internal company guidance. Across the board, there seems to be more appetite for taking resources from different places, and that's slightly different to what you're talking about, just having it in one place. But actually, the data suggests that managers are more open to picking stuff up from wherever they need to pick it up versus their office-based counterparts. So the third one here is mobile. So, and I don't think the data is basically saying 65% of virtual managers, and I think this has gone up, hasn't it, since this first bit of Emerald Works data. They're wanting to be able to access resources on a mobile device versus 60% of their office-based contemporaries. So, we were talking about convenient places to work and learn, and they are predicated on being able to work in a mobile way on mobile devices. So I don't think there's anything more to say on that, is there, again, other than if you're not already doing it, that is definitely what you need to be thinking about. And one final point up here is about this idea of providing resources or information at the point of need and being relevant to what these managers are doing. 66% want versus 57% of office-based managers want to access resources at the point of need. And overall, virtual managers feel they receive learning that is directly relevant to their current role, 73% versus 65% office managers. So
and again, this is actually a more to the fact that first and foremost the perception, and I guess in my view perceptions are at times more important than the actual practices of an organization, because they dictate in the majority of cases the behaviors that people kind of, or the attitudes they have towards those things. If virtual managers are feeling or perceiving that the learning that they are receiving, or the content or the resources or the access they are receiving is more relevant to their job and more timely, they will be using them more, and as a result we should be able to see performance gains. As a result we should be able to see better overall management in one way or another. But again, this remains to be seen and needs to be measured more effectively over time, for sure.
Yeah.